ready to serve.
I, or whatever it is they say, infiltration. Oh, such tragedy! A broken mirror.
How is that a tragedy?
How would I marvel at my magnificent countenance with all these shards floating around?
Please, just look at it, Quartermaster.
I suppose I could try to get a glimpse of myself in this reflective debris.
Pinkus, if you're hearing this, I'm dead and gone. That makes you the oldest man aboard. Remember when you once told me about that servant you had? What was his name again? Never mind. Can't hear you anyway. But I distinctly remember you saying you left him somewhere.
Yeah, Sebastian. He wasn't supposed to. Well, all right. There seems to have been a anticipation on my part. Indeed, there is someone who I'll have to face before I can pass whatever tribulations the captain envisions.
And here I was trembling at the thought of what the mirror might pull from your dogged soul.
Yeah, yes, I had a couple of great dogs, very reliable. But no, the captain is talking of Sebastian, my loyal servant.
Great. We just find him and you talk things out? Easy work.
Yes, it was admittedly a while ago, but I'm very optimistic he's still where I last saw him.
Tell me, and I'll set a course.
In prison. More precisely, the dungeons of the Iron Bay.
What do we have here?
Where to, navigator? We are close to the Iron Bay. Now your servant, you left him in a prison.
Haven't we all done things that we aren't particularly proud of?
Do you at least remember in which cell he was?
Of course, of course. What kind of barbarian forgets where they left their most trusted acquaintance? He is right there.
That cell is rather empty.
Indeed. Naught but a minor setback. Yeah, I remember them keeping particularly tight records. As they are not of those who cast away traditions lightly, I presume they still have them there. Ah, yes, there they are, tightly perused by a diligent prognosticar. Wearing the form of one of their acolytes should allow me to read about Sebastian's whereabouts. So long as the prognosticar is not looking directly at me while I browse his files. Alas, it is a risk I must take. Now, Afia, would you be so kind and choose our landing?
About time! A new hunt! Finally! And so we return.
My time is not to be trifled with. I have to get a new coat anyway.
I wonder, Quartermaster, what made you come here in the first place?
Aha! I always wanted to experience the insides of a prison. A real one, you see, not these petty cellars my family called Kerker. So, of course, I, Sebastian, set out and tried to get ourselves imprisoned.
Your naivety is truly exceptional.
My dear Marley, you sound just like Sebastian.
I will draw them. Finders keepers, right? Thank you, Marley.
Opportunity calls. A blade in the dark. Always move forward.
How to put this? A new chapter in my memoirs.
Let's get moving, eh?
Yeah?
Any
I can
coin,
barely see
an
through
offer,
this
I'm
mask.
ready to fire.
Such, of course. I like the taste of it.
Oi!
Buckets of ducats.
What a
That won't be a
strange
challenge.
noise.
We won't rat you out. Ooh, the treasures of another's flesh.
So how did you get yourself imprisoned?
It was surprisingly easy, actually. I just needed to display my abilities once, and we were in there faster than I could have hoped for. They do grant you a really swift trial once you're accused of using magic. Lucky us.
Lucky you, rather, since you're the one who is not in prison anymore.
Yes, it doesn't take much to soak up all the nuances of a prison cell.
My soul
Thus, I
is
broke
razor
out
sharp.
and told Sebastian to wait for me until I would find a way to free him.
Grant me a second.
Gloriously, I'm doing now.
Diamonds, rubies, emeralds.
Let's see what's out there. I'll take that, thank you. What do we have here?
We found no common ground.
Let's get you somewhere else.
I'll hold on to what is mine. It's a deal then. You threw your net and captured a memory, Marley. Nobody takes what's mine. Let's reel them in.
Do I see?
My chest is off limits.
What's in it for me?
Such a tragic life.
Those constant nightmares. Finish your task.
There is a certain power in a proper ledger. So meticulous.
Stick them one less soul to taste. I presume that's going to hurt. Another pair of eyes might do the trick. That's all you have in you? Well, it'll have to do.
Nobody can escape the confines of these papers. Such is the power of...
Here I was again in the prison of my past, heroically returning to save my old servant and companion.
Are you composing your memoirs again?
Certainly. A good word is never to be left astray.
But a companion is?
Touché.
Their heads tend...
I could spend hours going through such meticulous records.
Please don't.
From what I can gather, Sebastian is not listed as an inmate anymore. But it seems they throw the worldly belongings of released prisoners on a pile just outside the prison. Maybe we can pick up his trace there.
What? Well, now, is that? There must be a mistake. What happened? Was it the curse? Or merely fate? What right is appropriate here? A cruel twist of fate, perhaps. It was meant to be, I suppose. Nothing to it. My soul is razor sharp. Here I see.
What?
Surely I can... Why are we wearing these woolen robes in the middle of the lost Caribbean?
Consider it done.
What is that?
What's in it for me?
What do we have here?
Couldn't see eye to eye.
Well, now. At your service. My soul is razor sharp. This should come in handy. Don't let the flame.
Don't sell me short.
Never look back.
What?
Now we're getting somewhere.
They all seek my riches.
My eye. Whom will I taste this time?
Careful negotiation. Nobody takes what's mine. An offer I can't refuse.
Let's see what's out there.
For when my vigilance is tested by corruption's aggregate, I must be ready.
Let's peruse some minds. They really believe order is to be above all. Pitiful.
What is that?
I shall swing the censer and draw lines with my torch to cleanse the...
What do we have here?
Is that?
Consider it done. From here to there. There's no distance. No second thoughts, eh? A sword through the heart.
Such hassle.
At your certain... I still need time. My sword is razor sharp. Straight to the point.
Corruption ever accumulating
I remember this.
things, even if the touch...
I'll hold on to what is
No
mine.
second... I'll take that, thank you.
Any coin? Nobody takes what's mine.
Stated that those of a certain
Don't let the flame...
I passed the treasure. Landed a heavy one. Is there treasure?
heavy.
My chest is off limits.
Achtung! Ah, well, that's odd. These are mostly bones. Why would they... let me have a look.
Count von Presswald, is that you?
Sebastian, there you are! Wonderful! It must have been, what, 3-4 weeks since we've parted ways?
30 years, my lord.
Oh, my, time does fly, doesn't it? You must have many a tale worth putting in the annex of my memoirs. So, let's gather up your belongings and leave this wretched place. Calm now, Sebastian. No more dilly-dallying. It has been 30 years already.
My lord, have you not noticed that I am dead?
Dead? Oh, yes, you are rather pale-looking now that you mention it. When did that happen?
7 years ago,
Yet you're still here?
I promised I would stand firm and wait for your return.
Oh, that is very commendable, Sebastian.
Yes. Now, would my lord lower himself to gather my remains and carry me off this pile of junk?
Ah, the burdens of nobility. I will grant you this boon. Let's leave now.
Yes, my lord. Of course. Is there any particular reason my lord was held up for such an extended time?
Oh, so many, Sebastian. Soon after we parted, I met a man called Mordechai.
Black Eye Mordechai? The pirate captain?
Exactly. And to nobody's surprise, he made me quartermaster of the Red Marley. Admittedly, I mostly use the ink and paper they provide to work on my memoirs.
So, my lord signed on a pirate ship and continued writing his memoirs for the last 30 years.
Yes, in fact, there's an enormous backlog of proofreading for you to get to. Stick them with the pointy
Tough
end.
customer.
At your service.
So exhausting.
Through the below we go. This gives me the shivers.
Marley, I'm back, and I brought Sebastian here with me. That won't be a challenge. Welcome on the Marley, Sebastian, your new home. You may rest in front of my cabin.
Gracious as always, Quartermaster.
Ah, and this is the Marley herself speaking. She can be a bit frightening, but eventually you'll get used to each other.
That seems most unlikely.
Hello, Ship Marley.
You're already getting along beautifully. Now, let's face that mirror together and get this farce over with.
A mirror, my lord.
Ah, just some misguided magical device insisting that you and I are in a quarrel. Good. My tobacco was getting stale. So, dear shattered mirror, I present to you Sebastian.
Good day.
Is this thing on?
I presume the mirror will only speak when it is satisfied.
What else could it want? I've righted my wrongs, if you insist on calling them that, and everybody is happy.
My lord, forgive my forwardness, but I believe I know what the holdup could be.
Huh? Oh, well, go on then, Sebastian. It's not like this magical mirror here is deferring to my attempts at conversation.
I have had a long time to reminisce during the many years you have left me behind. I'm not sure I can continue anymore.
Sebastian, all this time of being a pile of bones must have gotten to your head.
Doesn't my lord agree that carrying the remains of his old servant would only hold him back?
You do have heavy bones, Sebastian. What is it you want, then?
A burial by the maiden's judgment, my lord.
Oh, please, surely I've judged you plenty enough in the past.
The maiden's judgment concerns itself purely with one's conviction and devotion to the maiden's sacrifice. It has nothing to do with inconsiderate words my lord has uttered over the years.
And where would we need to go for this?
Gran Alcazar, my lord.
Ah, to break into their fortress once again, to evade their scrutiny and laugh in their faces.
No, my lord, I merely...
So there is one more adventure to be had. Pack my bag, Sebastian. We're going to your funeral. Wie Sie wünschen. Marley, I'm happy to inform you that you're starring in the latest chapter of my memoirs.
Is that so, Quartermaster?
I think I'm calling it A Day in a Pirate's Death.
I don't believe I have agreed to such a role.
Blinded by my overwhelming charm, the Marley could do naught but agree to my proposal. Great. Good talk, Marley. Now, I just have to get the right tobacco for this chapter. Ah, yes, I have the perfect one stored in one of the cannons. Let me get it quickly. Smoking right. Oh, whoosh! That was a bit unexpected.
Pinkus, is there any reason why you'd open fire on the MTC?
There I stood, staring at the discharged cannon. My tobacco was gone, but I wasn't going to falter.
What are you talking about? Are we under attack?
An attack? That would be an excellent addition to my next chapter.
What does this have to do with your memoirs?
You see, for every new chapter in my memoirs, I need a fitting tobacco, and I had just the perfect one stashed in that cannon.
I see. So naturally, you shot it at the ocean.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Well, it seems I have to unearth a different tobacco then. Thank you, Afia. I will certainly get back to you.
I can hardly wait, Pinkus.
For now, I'll have to carefully consider what to fill my pipe with. Likely a poor choice.
Where to, navigator?
Such a formidable church. But there appears to be no confessor in sight.
Confessor? Why should we concern ourselves with such lowly being?
They are trained to perform the Maiden's judgment, to see that it is done properly.
I have spied one at the gardens.
It seems he has taken a stroll. Does my lord think that he could take a peek into that confessor's mind? To learn about the Maiden's judgment?
Learn? A von Pressfahrt, never.
Quartermaster.
Oh, well, as usual, only the best for my servants. Afia, would you kindly choose an appropriate landing again?
About time, yeah? Are you pulling my leg?
Try again.
As you command.
Sebastian, are you certain that you don't want me to say some words of my own when we send you off?
I would like it to be a bit more sacerdotal than your usual ramblings, my lord.
Ah, Sebastian, what you denote as ramblings is my renowned ability to rally crowds.
My lord surely is referring to the time he rallied his sister's wedding party.
Yes, of course. The crowd was so enraptured after my speech.
Yes. Your sister was very glad you reminded everyone that her spouse was going to be her third attempt at marriage.
How far do you and Pinkus go back, Sebastian?
I've seen to Pinkus since he was born.
Sebastian was the only servant who remained loyal after the von Pressfahrt estate fell to bankruptcy. Now he is working for the honor of serving our house.
My lord, I have followed you under the impression that you would at least attempt to repay me for my services.
Ah, Sebastian, but I did. It's just that there were so many other necessary expenses to be covered.
Like the cakes coated in gold foil?
Especially those.
Come on, everybody. We'll find a way this
Pressfahrt,
time.
at your service. Nobody can resist the sound of coin. The burdens of nobility. Let's change perspective. Such a tragic life. I'm much of course.
Unleash.
The tides obey no one.
Aye.
The attack fails. My part.
Surely I can interest someone in it. Say, fellow Inquisition human, would you know where the nearest trees are located?
We can start from here again.
Like tasting wine.
I miss the waves under my feet.
What?
I'll keep it stored.
Better old than sorry. A pirate's delight. Back to the sea. Tough nut to crack.
I have to get a new coat anyway. Let's change perspective. Now, let me see. A grand many things to say and do. It seems that usually for this procedure they use the Beacon of Judgment. This confessor has a lousy memory. He doesn't remember any of the things he is supposed to say. He just reads them off one of those iron slabs that are stored in the scriptorium.
Do you think we could acquire such a slab? To assure that the words uttered at my judgment are in accordance with the maiden's teachings?
Certainly, Sebastian. Additionally, equipment to ignite the beacon is to be found close by. And some iron dust to sprinkle on the remains should be taken as well. These seem to be all the things. Let's get them swiftly.
How long has it been?
The sea flows through me. You picked the right bone.
Where the wind blows, cannonballs fly. Sure as the storms. Let's see again.
I'm feeling blue. Aye.
Is that? Oh,
I'm coming, Sir Agent. Glad to be back.
I feel like.
Any cannons loose? I like long
Well,
shots.
now.
Something
I
strange.
presume that's going to hurt. I like your style, Gael.
Back to the sea. That's what we do. Sure as the tides.
Big problem? Bigger solution.
I feel.
Wash one.
Well now.
No one returns from the depths.
bone.
And you're still certain that you want to do this? You know you'll always have a place at my side, Sebastian.
That is very kind, my lord. But I've made my peace with the maiden. Now I just want to bask in her glory.
And I thought I knew your type.
Type, my lord?
I didn't expect that you'd long for the embrace of a centuries-old burn victim.
It is funny you should speak to my preferences in these matters, my lord.
Funny? How?
Didn't your last affair involve a courtier that arguably was a cousin of yours?
I always struggled to untangle the intricacies of my family.
Ready for a challenge.
Another soul sealed? Goodness gracious, you're heavy.
I'm always here.
J'écoute. This is going to be a long shot. Aye. Oh? Don't mind the lad.
Back to the sea.
Beautiful display of artillery, Gael.
Burn in the maiden's fire.
The death's call. Let's put them down.
Remind me never to get on your backside, John. I like long shots.
See you on the other side.
Bourgeois. Wonder how we'll do this time. D'accord.
Come on, Sir Reginald.
Pitiful creatures. Such hassle. Oh. Like their poor choice. The burdens of nobility.
I can feel your connections.
A ghostly pleasure.
Who?
The tides obey no one. Affirmative. Another round. A pirate's delight.
Would you spare about...
My qualities are needed.
All right. Have some of
I like the taste of it. Let's peruse some minds.
Fellow...
To see the world with different
Today's
eyes.
studies concern the properties of the beacon of
They really believe order is to be above all. Pitiful. Look at all these books. One could be reminded of the time when we broke into Louis XIV's library.
Yes, my lord. Even in death, my back still hurts when I think about carrying all those books out of there.
Well, good reading comes to price, doesn't it?
My lord, you never actually read one of them.
Who'd have thought they'd all be in French? Darned language nobody can make sense of. If we'd known Gael at the time, she could have translated them for us.
I admit I would have liked to take a peek at these books.
Let's go under for a bit.
Another pair of eyes might do the trick.
force You have heard of the beacon.
I'm feeling
Do you truly
blue. The
know
turtles would like that.
honor of
Less trouble for everyone.
Image.
Sure as a
I believe it will be much easier to enter the scriptorium in the guise of one of these acolytes.
Maybe killing all of them before achieving just that is not the best idea then.
Such hassle.
I don't look up to anybody. Ready for a challenge. Ah, ammunition. Spies.
These are the matchsticks? An odd thing to be considered sanctified.
They burn with the smallest essence of Maiden's fire, and are practically inextinguishable.
Ah, we could have used such a thing in those oversized tombs in Giza.
We had our torches, my lord, until you decided to start a ruckus with the local fauna.
These spitting monsters, to think that they ride them around like mere horses.
Like we're in a bit of a pickle.
Is it time?
Let's see, what does it say? Iron, fire, burning of the maiden, the voice of the flame, judgment. Again, I'm certain I could muster up words of much greater sacrosanctity.
Have you ever given a eulogy before, my lord?
I'll step on a shell or two.
Surely you haven't forgotten the speech I gave at my Uncle Richard's funeral?
That was a eulogy? Oh, I was under the impression that you were attempting to open the buffet.
That was a beneficial side effect, I admit. Even in death, Uncle Richard was stingy with the food.
I'll have to borrow your ankle for weightlifting sometime, Mr. Mercury. I like long shots.
Can you hear the waves singing?
Aye!
Do I see?
Let's go, sir. Reginald. A little ripple is all it takes.
What is that?
Ah! Salt creaks! Where it hangs, Scaly!
The design illuminates your path.
Enjoy death! No hard feelings.
This is the dust. Now, what would one do with a bag of weighty dirt at a funeral?
Sprinkling the iron dust of the maiden on the burning pyre symbolizes her willingness to burn alongside us.
Does the procedure require the entire bag?
Yes, my lord. And you may not have 1 ounce for that pipe of yours. I think we have all the things required.
Yes, it seems so. Well then, no more time to waste, I suppose. Let us start the ritual. Oh, ho, the luxury of memories. Good, my tobacco was getting stale. Here we are.
Indeed we are. My lord, are you ready?
Yes, of course. When have I ever not been?
Well, there was that one time at your 6th wedding.
Oh, please, let's not talk about that one, Sebastian. Yeah, I wanted to say...
Yes, my lord?
Never mind. Let's get on with it. Are you ready, Sebastian?
I am, my lord.
Dearest maiden, bringer of fire who has been judged in our name, hear me and light your beacon. You who have walked this path before, grant us the wisdom of your judgment. I, Pinkus von Presswald, bring you Sebastian, who has come to finish the enlightened journey of his life. He asks you to relieve him of his burdens and lays his worldly soul before you. He is ready to be judged, as you have been judged before us. You shall now speak for yourself, Sebastian Hebhardt.
I, Sebastian Hebhardt, give myself to the judgment of the fire. May it test the conviction of my soul, and should I be found wanting, let it consume me.
Sebastian, is it... are you... Ah, I see. I have at times, if not always, failed to show proper appreciation for your sacrifices, Sebastian. You were without doubt the finest companion any man could ask for. Today I lay to rest no servant, but my dearest friend, whose memory would be any pirate's greatest treasure, and I count myself among the richest, for it is mine.
Thank you, my lord.
Sebastian? You're back. Did you change your mind?
No, my lord. It takes a while to burn a soul in its entirety.
Ah, I see. I just thought...
For what it is worth, my lord. I am glad I held out a little longer. But it is time now, my friend. May your soul always illuminate the dark.
Yours too, Sebastian. Oh.
He's gone, Quartermaster. Truly, this time.
I understand. I suppose we ought to leave this place, then. Nothing I can't afford. Likely, finally
glad to get my
to a
seaboards back
civilized
under me.
deck. Yes, say, Afia, aren't you the, quartermaster on this merry ride?
No, you're the quartermaster, Pinkus.
Really? Ah, how exciting! And what is it a quartermaster does?
Haven't you always been the quartermaster here?
Well, you see, under Mordechai, it was considered more of an honorary title.
A quartermaster keeps tally on the hold, distributes supplies and provisions. They're also responsible for disciplining the crew. But I think the Marley has that covered.
So, I'm in charge?
What? Where did you get that from?
You yourself said I was the master.
Quarter, Master Pinkus.
So if I was looking for supplies, I'd best ask myself.
Why don't you speak to the Marley? She might be better suited to help you out.
A formidable suggestion. Much obliged, Afia. So, let me continue my musings. Yes, I suppose I ought to visit that mirror again. Good, my tobacco was getting stale. Marley, it is I, von Presswald, your quartermaster, speaking.
Since when are you flaunting your job title so readily?
A title is a title, Marley.
So you finally decided to accept your duties?
Duties? You do possess a sliver of humor, Marley. No, I need to create a new tobacco mix for the current chapter of my memoirs. My original one got shot out to sea.
Perhaps you should bother Pete and Nameless about such things.
Ah, yes. Do you happen to recall where they stand?
At the stern.
Stern? Like my father's attitude?
Look in the direction we are moving, and then turn around.
Ah, I see. I think it is, they say. Good, let's see. The direction the ship is moving towards should be the opposite of where the wind is facing. Oh, maybe I have that exactly wrong. I will have a look at both ends, then. I like the taste of it. Wie Sie wünschen. A new chapter in my memoirs. Wait, this scent.
Oh, that is good tobacco.
Gentlemen, may I inquire where you obtained that tobacco?
Some skelly found it in a cannon and traded us for it. Look, that fellow's here is smoking.
Ah, it may be appropriate to add that I'm the rightful owner of what you're smoking there.
Really? Well, nothing we can do there, Pete. Unless we don't give it to him.
I must insist. I'm the quartermaster, after all.
The quartermaster, eh? Look, here's a proposition. We'll trade you for it.
In the end, the vile thieves could do naught but negotiate. I suppose a bit of conflict won't hurt this chapter. I will see what I can do. But for now, I must retire to my chambers. There is much to ponder and write about. Nothing I can't afford.
Pinkus? The mirror is ready for you.
I assumed it would be. Well, my reflecting friend, what do you think?
If you wish to, I can stabilize the mirror a bit longer so you can attend your hair.
Ah, I thank you, Marley. But for today, my personal vanity will rest, and I'll keep my thoughts with Sebastian. That said, if you ever feel the need for a distracting chat, I would not be disinclined.
Hey, Marley. I have something to discuss with you. Can we talk?
At your leisure, Navigator.
Well, well.
I will grace you with my attention. There he was, fending off Louis XIV's honor guards while carrying several heavy tomes. Oh, yes, please?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What are you writing about?
The current chapter is about Sebastian and me breaking into Louis XIV's library.
Well, well. So he was the one fighting several soldiers.
Oh, yes, he was a magnificent swordsman at the time. Truly a sight to behold. I don't think I would have managed to get out of my own castle's gardens without him.
He has earned a place in your memoirs, then.
Well, Sebastian was already in many chapters, just maybe not in the best light. So I thought I'd go through them, as they certainly deserve a bit of retouching. Speaking of... where was I? Oh, yes. After he had fought off all of our foes, I didn't dare to tell him that I couldn't speak any French at all, which rendered these books we had stolen entirely useless to me. But the adventure was one I will always remember gladly.
Consider it done.
You're here to serve, I presume. Oh, Afia, your timing is impeccable as always.
What have I walked into this time?
Since last time, you've proven yourself to be such a fruitful audience, there is something else I want you to listen to. It is a more extensive chapter of my memoirs concerning how I came to know Black Eye Mordechai.
Actually, it does sound quite interesting.
Of course it does. Now, let me begin. Akin to many of my chapters' beginnings, it was a dark and stormy night in this one, too. I had just escaped an Inquisition prison, and I was in dire need for something to quench my thirst. My servant Sebastian had recommended the Saucy Sloop, which, intriguingly enough, wasn't located in a sloop. The proprietor just had a mysterious fondness for the type of boat. So I stood before this literarily named tavern and dared to enter. A man, who later would have the honor to be my captain, was sitting at the bar. He was riotously singing along whatever the evening's melody was, but I couldn't blame him. As, while the merriments of singing still mostly escape me, even I deemed it a snappy tune. I immediately sat down next to him, for greatness recognizes greatness, and I sang and talked to him all evening. Therefore, dear reader, if you're lucky enough to have this tale recited by me, the author myself, I will now attempt to bring the tune to life once more.
No need to sing, Pinkus. I just remembered I had to chart something. Lots of things.
Oh, that is quite all right. I haven't smoked the proper tobacco to loosen my vocal cords this morning anyway.
All right, thank you, Pinkus. Good luck smoking up your cords. Always move forward.
What do you have for me, Navigator?
I think it's time we talk about what this journey is really about.
I don't follow.
I know about the Time Soul, Marley. And I know what you intend to do with it.
You were in my hold, despite my explicit orders.
Mordecai told me to. A secret message back in the Riddle Hole. His words were clear. He wants you to send the Time Soul back to the below.
I know very well what his final request was.
Do you? Because when you recounted it to me, you left out the most vital part.
Careful now, Navigator.
You intend to use the Time Soul. You're going against your captain's wish so you can bring him back.
Listen well, Afia Manicato. You presume to speak for the captain, but you are wrong, no matter what his message says. I know better than anyone what the captain would have wanted.
Think about the clues he left us. The relics. put there to remind you when you should not use your power. The mirror, which makes the crew come to terms with their past. He's preparing us. Because if anyone uses the Time Soul, something terrible will happen.
Enough. Your concern is noted. Return to your post, and let us not speak of this again.
I'm not giving up yet, Marley.
As you will, Navigator. Now please, leave me be.
Fine. Take your time. We'll continue this at a later date.
Teresa,
Well,
ready to
not
serve.
like I expected this to be easy. Back to business it is.